Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Beth, and thanks so much to FreeMind for giving the Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute the opportunity to participate in the summit this year. My name is Kathleen Rousche, and I'll take some time today to talk about our innovation office at the Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, the programs we support, and the services we provide. We look at ourselves as a resource for awardees and innovators in our scientific community whose work targets our mission. So the Nhlbi mission is to turn discovery into health by providing leadership and research training and education to prevent and treat heart, lung, blood, and sleep disorders to impact health. We have 4 main strategic goals, which our office supports, with a special focus on advancing translational research, as well as training a workforce that's well-versed in technology development and commercialization. This slide shows a cartoon of the steps involved in taking a promising discovery into a patient. And we know it takes a lot of money, takes a lot of time and effort. And we see basic research on the left here, all the way, past clinical trials and impacting health on the right. Our innovation office focuses in the middle to support early stage research through proof of concept, to help enable lab to market transition, and to educate innovators on what it really takes to move a basic science discovery through to a commercial product. We're trying to eliminate the barriers that innovators face in this space, such as limited funding, lack of understanding, and lack of access to specific resources. To address these challenges over the years, our office has launched and manages several proof of concept center programs, and we also coordinate our Institute's small business program. This slide shows the breakdown of programs and activities that the office supports. As I mentioned, we coordinate the small business program, meaning we have different divisions in our Institute: heart, lung, blood, and sleep. So the scientific expertise still lies in the division, but our office helps to coordinate all of our awarded grants across the Institute. We manage strategic initiatives, including proof of concept center type programs. A couple that have been ongoing for a while are the NIH Centers for Accelerated Innovations and the Research Evaluation and Commercialization Hubs. And we recently launched a new Catalyze program to also support translational research. We offer entrepreneurial education, and we participate in outreach and partnering events to facilitate partnerships that might lead to private sector support for our small companies. All of these activities are driven by really unique staff in the office that has product development expertise needed to advance promising discoveries. In the next few slides, I'll provide a brief overview of our programs and then talk about the specific product development support services that we offer and the staff we have on board to support our services. I'll talk today about our small business program and then some other proof of concept center programs that we have available that target academic technologies and also small businesses. So our small business program has 3 types of funding opportunities. We have investor initiated grants. We have SBI small business contracts, and we have targeted grants. And targeted grants are specific NIH priority areas that are usually released as RFAs. And we have some right now in diversity, phase 2B commercialization, small market FOA, because sometimes those types of technology, small markets like pediatrics, don't get a whole lot of investor interest. So we do targeted grants once in a while. Different institutes use these mechanisms in different ways. At our institute, we primarily fund applications through the omnibus solicitation and investor initiated ideas. So our proof of concept, our product development programs to support academic technologies are the NCI program and the Research Evaluation and Commercialization Hubs programs. These are programs that have been in existence for a while. The NCI program started back in 2013. It's a 7-year program. And the REACH program, we've launched 2 of them, one back in 2015 and one more recently in 2019. But the thing about those programs is they were pilots. They have some different attributes to them that I'll talk about in a minute. But what we really wanted to do with those pilot programs is, collect best practices so that we could maybe scale the model across the country. So we started small, and then we've been pulling best practices out of those programs for several years. And our brand new translational research program is called Catalyze. This is a comprehensive suite of translational programs. It's across heart, lung, blood, and sleep. So you don't have to be a lung investigator to access a specific lung program. It's across our whole disease area. And the Catalyze program has product definition portion to it, coordinating center, and a preclinical program. So our small business program, the SBR and STTR programs together are one of the largest sources of early stage capital for technology development in the US. These federal funds support small businesses developing projects with strong potential for commercialization. At NIH, the small biz programs invest about over $1 billion, into health and life science companies. And the NHLBI small business budget is $117 million to support companies focused on projects within our mission. These programs provide a key source of seed funding to move technologies towards commercialization. A few reasons why it's a good idea to leverage this funding is because the program provides non-dilutive capital, which we're talking about today. No repayment is required because it's not a loan. The IP is retained by the small business. And if you're a business and you've secured this type of support, it can provide leverage to attract other funding and collaboration. There's a lot of information on our website about the program, including eligibility requirements and how to apply. Stephanie Davis has recently joined us as our small business coordinator, and she will answer any questions that you have about the details of the program. This just shows, for our institute, we have over, it's actually, I updated that slide. It's 323 active projects in our portfolio. We fund projects related to heart, lung, blood, sleep across different technology types. This slide shows the National Proof of Concept Center Network, which has grown, through the NCI and REACH program to include 11 sites across the 3 similar programs: the NIH Centers for Accelerated Innovations, and both the 2015 and 2019 Research Evaluation and Commercialization Hubs. Many of the sites we funded are actually set up as mini consortia. So there are over 40 institutes involved, from which we're pulling, best practices, how to do product development to be successful. The NCIA program, like I said, was launched in 2013. This is strictly an NHLBI program, and the REACH programs were subsequently launched by NIH. So the REACH program is a trans NIH program. We had experience managing the NCI program, so our institute actually manages the trans NIH REACH program. It's set up in a similar way to the NCI program, but the science is agnostic as long as it fits within the NIH mission. Both these programs are designed to support development of early stage academic technologies. So prior to a company being formed, they were built with the idea that a technology, after going through the program, would be in a position to have a strong company built around it and then be able to access our small business program. The program was set up a little bit differently than most NIH programs, and I just wanted to mention a few of the unique components of this program. We provide up to $400K in $200 to $400K in project funding, but there's actually a 1-to-1 non-federal match that's required to leverage the federal investment. So if the site puts in $100K of the federal funds, then the site needs to find $100K to match our federal investment. And this is so that that institution has skin in the game. They're doing their due diligence to make sure, as we are, that's a project with commercial potential. All the projects have to be project managed and milestones tied to budget. This is a unique concept for some academics because they're not used to, having to actually be held accountable to getting to the next, to meet your milestone, or else you're not going to get your next tranche of funding. In addition, innovators receive personalized feedback from NIH and our partners. Our partners in this program include the FDA, CMS, the US Patent Office, and Kaiser Permanente. So we take a look at the way the program's set up is each of our awarded sites have an external review board. So the site makes some decision, they do a little bit of screening at the level of the site, and then they send the top applications to NIH for secondary review. And our team looks at those applications to, look at any red flags. So if FDA sees something in there that is a little bit unique, or maybe it's a combination, we provide feedback back to the site, which actually gets back to the innovator. So this is a great educational opportunity. And then the sites, using our feedback and feedback from their own review committee, makes decisions on what technologies to fund. and then they go through project management and spend, a year or two in the site. So this network is finally maturing to the point where we are able to identify lessons learned and get some outcomes and defining best practices for early stage technology development. Program outcomes to date look pretty good. We have funded over 300 technologies through the network, and 76 of those technologies have formed companies. The companies that were formed that chose to submit, a small business grant to NIH have about a 50% success rate in getting funded their first time around, which is it's a pretty good percentage, based on somebody coming in with a small business application. So we're pretty proud that these technologies with this team-based approach are being successful. And to date, the projects have received over 800 million in follow-on funding, with probably 650 or so of that private versus, other federal, grants that these projects had received. So over the past several years, like I said, we've taken a look at these programs. We've studied other programs, translational programs that NIH or other agencies have in play. And we really were trying to pull best practices to launch a program, because these RFAs are one-shot RFAs. So the NCI program is actually in its 8th year out of 7, so they're in no cost extension. The REACH program is set to sunset in 2022. So our institute was looking for ways that we were going to support translational research. And we wanted to enhance and streamline support and use these other programs to figure out what would be the best path forward. So this effort and this translational effort, looking at the programs, took a long time. We've working on this for probably at least 5 years. But anyway, this multi-year effort led to the launch of the new Catalyze program. So in 2019, we launched the first part of the Catalyze program. And this was to provide a comprehensive suite of support to drive development of new discoveries into potential solutions to the point where they're ready for human testing. This slide shows some of the activities supported through the program. There are currently multiple funding opportunities available to support early stage product definition activities for therapeutics, devices, and diagnostics. A coordinating center was just funded to provide coordination and product development expertise to our innovators. And a preclinical portion is set to be launched in 2021, hopefully in the next couple of months. So we were able to first launch the product definition portion of this, just launched a coordinating center a few months ago, and the preclinical portion of this will be announced soon. This shows a breakdown of the program components and gives a little bit more detail. And I think Beth is going to distribute these slides after the fact so you can take a closer look at them. But we have 5 opportunities for early stage projects. 2 are targeting small molecules and biologics, 2 devices and diagnostics, and 1 addresses enabling technologies and transformative platforms. And the preclinical portion on the right will be launched shortly. And then that'll be the completion of the rollout of the program. And we're actually renewing thinking about the renewal of the first part of the program, the product definitions FOA, in the next year or so. So these are relatively new opportunities for heart, lung, blood, and sleep innovators. And the idea is perhaps that, we had a lot of one-off programs, maybe blood had a translational program, heart had one, lung had one. So this was designed so that as an innovator, you can come in as long as you're within our mission, and you can come in early, you can come in a little bit later if your technology is a little bit further along, but it was kind of set for the innovator to have a path forward through to small business and beyond. So Catalyze is actually open to academic technologies in addition to small businesses. It's not our small business program, but small businesses are able to apply to the Catalyze program. So if you needed more information on Catalyze, the coordinator is Mike Peck. He took over earlier this year, and he was previously in our office as a small business coordinator. So he was, historically involved in rolling this program out, and now he's the coordinator for it. So I can put you in touch with Mike if you have questions about the Catalyze program. So how do we get this done? Our office is dedicated to helping innovators funded through these programs to succeed. Just wanted to take a minute to describe the services our innovation office provides and the staff. It takes more than receiving the Small Business Proof of Concept Center Award for our innovators to be successful. And this is where the unique staff in our office comes into play to provide really tailored guidance to our stakeholders to move technology forward through to commercialization. So up on the left is Stephanie Davis, our small business coordinator. She does the day-to-day, management of the small business program. Steve Flame has been within the office since 2010, so he's been with us a long time. He serves as our special advisor and investor in residence. Gautam Prakash is on detail from the US Patent Office. This is his second term with us. He was with us several years ago when we launched the initial NCI program, and he's back with us on detail at 50%. And then we have 3 entrepreneurs in residence, each that bring a little bit of different expertise to the table. Luis Gutierrez specializes in reimbursement and commercialization strategy. Kwame Almer, also commercialization strategy with a focus on regulatory. And Renee Arnold is brand new with us, and she is focused on health economics and outcomes research. And the next slide shows some of the services that the team provides. So the team is available for one-on-one advisory services to answer application questions or product development guidance. We have specific product development support services. We have a national mentor network. This is made up of over 65 product development experts that offer their time to provide mentoring to our awardees. We sponsor our awarded companies to attend conference showcase events. So we'll pay for the registration. If they're accepted for the meeting, we'll pay for the registration, and we offer pitch coaching leading up to the industry partnering or investor conference. This past year, we were able to support over 40 companies to attend 12 different events. And these aren't typical, science heavy events. They're more like the Capital Association meeting, bio, Resi, meetings where we can get our companies that are a little bit further along in front of potential strategic partners and investors. We also develop entrepreneurial education materials, including playlists on YouTube that address challenges that innovators face in the areas of regulatory, business, and IP. My final slide here shows the goals of our innovation office. We're really here to help. And as I hope I was able to describe to you, most of our activities are geared toward helping our awardees and potential awardees be successful in turning discovery into health. Feel free, if you have any questions, you can reach me or somebody else in our office at any time. And I appreciate your attention today and can answer any questions that you might have. There's a question about connecting with a program manager. Yeah, my last slide has a bunch of contact information on it for me and our office sites. But if you Google NHLBI SBIR, will probably pop up. You can also Google NHLBI OTAC, that's the acronym for our office. And once Beth shares the slides, you'll have my direct email, so you can feel free to contact me directly, or Stephanie Davis if you have a small business question. There's a question about, do we work on oncology therapeutics, or would that be NCI? That probably would be strictly NCI if it's a cancer indication. And I can also connect you, to our NCI colleagues if you need that.
And then there's one last question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's one last question after that. Yeah.
Oh, is everything cardiovascular in scope for NHLBI? I think probably to better answer that question, I would need to know a little bit more about what you're talking about, and then I can dip into our divisions, division of cardiovascular sciences, and make sure that that's covered, within our mission.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for being here. As Dr. Rousche said, I will be sharing the slides from our sessions as well as the recording once we get it up on our YouTube channel. And we really appreciate the time that everyone gave us today. So thank you very much, and have a good rest of JP Morgan week.
Thank you, Beth.
All right. See ya. Have a good day.